Welcome to Alpha Wolf Capital. I'm Tim, and I want to personally thank you for stopping by. This channel is designed to help small companies, both public and private, gain exposure with potential consumers, investors, even partners. Take, for example, today's guest, COO Ori Warshavsky from Polypid, ticker symbol PYPD. Polypid is a global clinical stage biopharmaceutical company focused on developing, manufacturing, commercializing novel, locally administered therapies to improve surgical outcomes. Their polymer lipid encapsulation matrix technology is a unique platform that is anchored in the surgical site to provide controlled and continuous delivery of medications. Their product candidates are designed to locally deliver medications over a period of several days to several months in a controlled manner. This allows surgeons to deliver medication right to the surgical site to improve inpatient outcomes and localized medical conditions. This is not to be taken as investment advice. I am not a certified financial planner. This is for education and entertainment purposes only. I encourage everyone to do their own due diligence. Hey everybody, Tim from Alpha Wolf Capital coming at you with a follow-up interview. I got to tell you, I am a little shocked at where the prices of this company right now, because they deserve better, right? Ori from Polypid is here. You're the COO,
Correct.
Chief Operating Officer,
Yeah.
over at Polypid. PYPD is the symbol, and I could have swore you had an event that happened not too long ago that was really, I thought it was kind of a game changer, because it was really clear and cut, definitive. Your product works,
Yes.
right?
Yes. This was so I'll maybe just kind of to share with everyone. So in June, we showed top line results of a phase 3 trial, and really the results were probably the best scenario we could expected. We hit the primary endpoint. We hit all three key secondary endpoints. We showed 60% reduction in infection in over 1,000 patients. So really the strongest evidence in the space. So we were really happy with what we saw. We showed reduction in infection. We showed reduction in the severity of infection. Yeah, it was, to your point, surprising that the stock did not react, but
Well, it did. It went down a little bit.
it went up, then it went down. There were all sorts of kind of technical playing and bots playing with the stock. That's we can't really manage that.
So this is where if you are not really intimately involved in doing your research and digging in on a company, then this is where you could easily get, as a long-term shareholder, you could easily get frustrated, disappointed, saying, okay, wait a minute, this was the thing that I was waiting for, that I thought was going to give me the opportunity to go buy my new car or whatever, right? And unfortunately, the event happens and the stock, it's like a dud, right?
Yeah,
You get a little fizzle and a pop and it's over.
yeah.
That's the whole fireworks show. Very disappointing. But it does not change the fact that your product works, and it works decisively. These numbers for what you are showing, which is basically, it's a delivery product, right?
Mm-hmm.
For to stop infection, and you had, like you said, 60% drop in infections. That's a big deal. On 1,000 out of 1,000, not 100, not 10, not 50, 1,000. That's a big deal, right?
It is a big deal, and I can tell you. So I'm sure some investors were expecting and then disappointment. I can tell you in the company that we felt the same, but also So one of our board member who was a big shareholder in the company, basically the message was, listen, you guys need to continue doing what you're doing. Your product works. You gotta get it over the finish line, submit to the FDA, get the approval, find a partner, and the price will correct itself. Don't worry about the day-to-day price of the stock. You guys need to do what you need to do to make the product, reach its full potential.
And that's exactly. I mean, if there's a message that I can deliver, Wall Street is a funny thing. If you think logic rules, it
Yeah.
doesn't. It doesn't. The market will try and do one of two things. They will try to scare you out, or they will try to wear you out, right? And if you've been in this thing for a long time, yes, this is disappointing. But the thing that you always have to come back to is the product works. That's not a question anymore. That is
Right.
off the table,
Right.
right? That was the risk. The major risk in this stock was it doesn't work. Okay, that's been put to bed. It's actually proven that it does work. And what does that open up for the company and the delivery system itself?
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a few things coming. First, for the product itself, we are looking two things. One, we'll have a first meeting with the FDA about the product before the end of the year, with a target to submit the file beginning of next year. And in parallel, we are working on actively in discussions with a number of potential partners to get to find the right partner for Diplex for the US market. And the thought is, again, this is a special product in the hospital. The partner that we need is really someone that knows how to sell into the hospital. There aren't many companies like that. And the companies that are in the space, maybe they have one product or two. They are looking for new stuff, new products to energize their sales team, new products that they can go to the surgeons and get them engaged and continue to buy. So we are in conversation with a few companies. Uh, the expectation is to be able to sign something beginning of next year, and with the signing there will be obviously an upfront payment and some sort of development milestones. Our general thought is that we took all the development risk up until now, invested hundreds of millions of dollars of this in this product. A partner, whoever it is, will have to pay a nice sum upfront to to acknowledge the risk that we took, and then they will take the commercial risk, and we will take some sort of royalties on that. So that's on Diplex, the meeting with the FDA and a partner. Uh, but what also this trial gave us is really a validation that the delivery system as a system works in 1,000 patients, clinical trial, global trial. So now we can do more. Now we can take this into other areas where a prolonged delivery is needed. We announced in July that we are already in development in the GLP-1 space. And in the space, what exists today, the Wegovy's and all the other kind of GLP injections, those are usually 5 to 7 days injections. Patient injects, there's a big spike, all the side effects, the nausea, and all the side effects come in with the first day or two because really there's a spike in concentration. And then by day 3 or 4, there's a long tail and kind of outside the efficacy window, and now the cravings begin, and you start thinking of food all the time, and then it's time to inject again. So if we do a prolonged release, if we can inject and release over 60 days, we skip all these side effects, we skip all the cravings, where once every other month, either you do it on your own or you go to the doctor checks your numbers, get another injection, you're set for the next 2 months. That's kind of the concept. We're in the beginning stages of this, but even just announcing this press release kind of interest from external potential partners to see what else we can do, which it's a good sign.
Right. So they want to understand the delivery system,
Yeah,
right? They want to
yeah.
understand how exactly does your product work, right?
Right. And again, and we have kind of different than others. We now have clinical actual results to show how we put the product locally. It released to the predefined time that we said. We said duplex for 30 days. It released over 30 days. It hit all the endpoints. So, it's kind of an ace in our sleeve for this.
So it's not just the US, you've got other countries too. You've got Mexico, you've got Brazil, you've got Asia, you've got all kinds of different potential partners that can show
Yeah.
up for different areas. Of course, your main focus is the US because of the size of the market, but there are other discussions being had.
There's a lot. There's what we call the kind of the life cycle management of Dplex is start with the US, start with the initial indication, which is prevention of infections in colorectal surgery or in abdominal surgeries. But then that ring can kind of expand geographically to other market, expand in the type of surgeries that can go into abdominal, go into joint replacement, go into breast reconstruction. There's quite a lot on the surgery type. And then there's even beyond that. You can use it for treatment of infection. That's a whole different space. You can use it in diabetic foot when there's infections are related to diabetes. There's on the life cycle management. There's a ton that we can do, and that's why it's important to find the right partner that can do a lot of the stuff. And we will work hand in hand with the partner to expand as much as possible.
So I'm gonna make a prediction here. Well, I mean, here's how I see things. This is how I look at the world. This is how I look at the world with Polypid. I say to myself, okay, where are we at right now? We're in the third quarter. We're heading into another new year right around the corner. This is when companies typically are putting together their budget plans for the next year, right? So if I'm in discussions with somebody, I'm pretty much going to want to try and get this thing put to bed. I would think either close to the end of the year or in the very first quarter, right? So that I could hit the road running with whatever it is I'm
Yeah,
planning on doing. Does
yeah,
that make
yeah.
sense?
I think that's the right way to look at it. The planning is now, and that's why I said we are in active discussions. Uh, Whoever, if let's assume the approval is end of 26 or beginning of 27, you sign beginning of 26, you have, let's say, 10 to 12 months to prepare the launch. That's usually what it takes to prepare this, the investment, putting the marketing tactics in place, getting the sales force ready, all that stuff takes time. So even a partner understands that if they want to maximize the product from approval, they need to hurry up.
Right, right. Now, one of the things that I guess people could look at as a risk is, oh, maybe you don't have enough cash. Now, in the last quarter, you announced you had 30 million in cash, right? You're not going to commercialize this yourself,
Right,
right? That would be my fear. If you were going to go commercialize this yourself, I'd say, holy shit, you do not have enough cash. But
right.
that is not the plan, right? The plan is let somebody that has an established sales force, has the relationships, let them take the ball and run with it, right?
Exactly. That was exactly the consideration. If we were to go alone, probably need $70 million to launch this, and really doesn't make sense to build all this infrastructure for one product.
Right,
As big as it can be, that maybe down the road, but at least for now, should give it to a partner that's already in the hospital, already has a sales force in place. They know how to talk to surgeons. So yeah, the cash right now, the 30 million will take us beyond the NDA submission, so somewhere on Q2 next year. But kind of the steps that happen in between will improve our cash position, whether it's signing the U.S. Commercial deal, which will have a big upfront to it. There's some expected milestone payments from a European partner, and there are a small piece of warrants that are priced really close to where we are today. So by the time, assuming those or part of those will exercise, all of that together with a down payment and the milestones should get us beyond the approval. So kind of middle of 2027.
Which is right. So I mean, this is, and that's maybe the one thing that is keeping the stock where it's at. But as these things get announced by
Right.
Polypid and it becomes more clear, you have at some point you're going to, just like your whoever it was that has a position and says keep executing, eventually the stock will react. It has to,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm looking at the stock and it's like, actually, it's kind of interesting. You have an interesting formation on the stock. It's not accidental that it's you can see it's bouncing, it keeps bouncing up against this one spot, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's this 370, which acted, or actually let's see, where is that? Yeah, 370, 369. So it acted as support for a while back here, right? It acted as support, and then all of a sudden, you broke support there. It came down. It put in a low, which is right here at about, what is that? $2.28 or so, and now it's bouncing up against that resistance area.
Yeah.
Which this is actually a reverse head and shoulders pattern here, right? This is the head, there's a shoulder, there's a shoulder. And then when you break the shoulder, the neckline, that is when you get the breakout, right? Which is going to be that 370. And then when you break through that, if you'll come back down, you'll test that area, and that'll become the new floor,
Yeah.
right? And that actually could be also about the time where you start, because if you look at the trend of the stock, it's pretty easy to identify. It goes from the upper left to the lower right. When you break that 370 and you stay above it, that could be the break, or the beginning of a new trend, which goes from the lower left to the upper right, right? And that's the most powerful break you can have. When you break the long-term trend, that is the most powerful break you can,
Yeah.
right? So you guys did a reverse, right? Did you do a reverse?
Yeah, but this was a few years back now.
That was, yeah. But okay, so that's behind you, and that's where the support was after you
Yeah.
did the reverse. It held, and then it broke through. Now you're trying to get back above that. That is a memory event in people's heads. That's why it's a resistance area.
Yeah.
Once that breaks, then that becomes the floor, and I think you start to make that progression up. The whole big risk, and I want to emphasize this again, is that it didn't work. If it
Yeah.
didn't work, then you're in big trouble.
Right. We're
That's
not.
off the table. It works, and it opens the door to other avenues for the company. You're not going to commercialize it. That would be the next big risk.
Right.
Okay. I'm not worried about that either. Right. So now I'm just worried about, well, who's going to be your partner and how much are they going to want to get involved in this, and what will they do? How will they pay up? And,
Right.
you know, that is an exciting thing. These are all exciting things. Who are they going to sign with in Brazil? Who are they going to sign with in Mexico? Who are they going to, what other drug applications will they be able to explore now? Who else could they potentially partner with?
Right. There's a lot. There's a lot that we can do
And
here.
those are all positives. Those are not, none of those
Exactly.
things I just said are negative. Those are all positive, and that's because you proved clearly it works. So
Right.
patience is a virtue.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you, you look at some of the analysts' projections for the product, and they really also look very narrow. US market, abdominal surgeries, really kind of the base case, and it's depending on who you look, 300 million and above in sales, right? So it's not a small product. And then you expand, like you say, more markets, more indications, it really can go grow up and up.
Right. And the stock is sitting here like you guys didn't accomplish anything.
Right. Yeah, that's
Okay.
that's,
And that's frustrating. Look, I get it. This is what the stock market does. It
yeah.
is a great patience teacher, right?
Yes.
If you
Yes.
don't know what the company, if you don't know all this stuff, it's easy to get frustrated and sell and say, you know what, there's other stuff out there. I'm tired of waiting on this thing. Nothing's going to move this stock. That's
Yeah.
not the case. They're testing your resolve. That's what it comes down to. In all actuality, this is the time when, if you can, you start building the position even bigger because you know the biggest risk is off the table,
Yeah. Yeah. The upside is coming. Yeah.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, um, how is internally? How is everybody feeling? I know half your crew is on vacation right
Well,
now.
last days of August, everyone's on vacation with the kids. No, but people are excited, people it's I was telling someone I've been in kind of the pharma business for that's around 20 years, and I've been through a lot M&As and divestitures and restructuring and failed trials and everything, but to be with a successful phase three, not many people kind of experience that in our industry. It doesn't happen often. So there's really kind of a lot of energy and in the regulatory team that really works hard to get to the FDA submission, the manufacturing team that stepping up, R&D is really seeing a lot of pickup because there's now, like we said, there's a lot of interest in the pipeline. So it really gave a huge boost of energy to everyone. And again, like you said, we have people in the company that have been around 8, 10 years with Polypid. So they've been through from the development, all the ups and downs, and so to see this really come the full circle all the way to the end of the trial is really a great experience feeling.
It's just they just have to hang on and just keep executing and have
Yeah,
faith because
yeah,
at some point this is going to turn and it will be appreciated. The biotech space led this last down cycle in the micro
mhm,
caps and small caps. I mean, that they led. So this cannot sustain forever. It can't be seven companies that keep the markets going higher, right?
yeah, yeah,
That that's not going to withstand that. It literally will turn. When it turns, I think that the small and underappreciated companies that have done amazing things over the last 5 years through a very challenging business environment. We had COVID, we had supply chain issues, historic in nature. We had the fastest interest rate hike cycle in the history of
mhm,
mankind. Those are challenging waters to navigate, right? You
yeah,
navigated them, you got an approved drug, and how were you rewarded? You weren't. Somebody's going to take notice as things become more clear as to who's partnering and all that stuff, and maybe what more indications you guys are going to be working on or partnering on, and then it gets really exciting. So just, I guess, all I'm trying to convey to people is keep the faith.
yeah,
This isn't this the worst possible outcome is off the table.
hmm,
There's good things ahead. Maybe not all of them are going to be huge grand slam home runs, but there's going to be a couple of huge grand slam home runs. I guarantee it's coming, right? I
yeah.
can't guarantee that. We could all get hit by an asteroid tomorrow.
Yeah.
So. right? So I can't guarantee it, but if an asteroid doesn't hit us, odds are
We're there. Yeah.
good things are going to happen with
Yes.
Polypid,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. So I guess this is the one thing I would say: the stock is not going. It's not in anybody's control. It's like literally in limbo, right? The bulls aren't in charge and the bears aren't in charge. It's literally in wait and see mode. That's what we're doing. We're bouncing between what two what is that 275 and this 370. That's what we're bouncing it in between there. It's going to break. It's going to break one way or the other. Now they tried to push it down. This was the big volume spike. That was the day. What? That was the day of the approval. Is that what that was?
What day I can say the
Gee, hold on. It was June 9th.
yeah, that's when we announced the results. Yeah.
Okay, so you had this massive volume spike,
Yeah.
and if you notice, now there's no volume. It's just like literally
Yeah.
dwindled to nothing. Right? That's the wait and see mode. That's okay. That's okay. It just your day is coming. That's all. Close out the end of the year. What I would recommend is, and I can do this, buy one share. If 80 million people try to buy one share, how many shares outstanding are there?
You have 80 million followers, team. That
You know what? I'm working on it.
yeah, there
Okay.
we go.
If 80 million people did try to buy one share, though, how many shares are there outstanding?
There are around 30 million.
That's a problem. There's
No,
there's
no, hold on.
there's
No.
not enough shares.
There's not enough shares.
You see where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no. Let me make sure that I give you the right number because it's
Yeah.
no, sorry. The float is 16 million. Yeah.
Is what?
16 million.
60
16, 16
million.
million. Yeah.
That's
16. Yeah.
that's outstanding.
Yeah.
That's not. You're going to need a lot more shares if 80 million people are going to try and buy that thing. You know what
Exactly.
I mean?
Well, this is what happened in that spike that you see there. We basically sold the company 3 times in that one day.
Yeah, that's weird, right?
Yeah,
And it didn't go anywhere. The
yeah,
stock didn't go anywhere.
yeah,
So I mean, look, like I say, the reason I say buy one share is because when you have a position, you tend to pay attention to what's happening with the company.
yeah,
That's really all I'm saying. And if this thing does break out on higher volume, then something's percolating, right? And it might happen before there's an actual announcement. Funny how the market works that way sometimes, right? There's whispers that you are going to partner with this one. I mean, who knows how these things happen? But I guess what I'm saying is this is a pretty interesting place from a technical standpoint. And fundamentally, you have things that are going to happen. And my guess is those fundamental things are going to be more aligned on the positive side than they are on the negative side. So it's just it's just going to require patience. And I think you couldn't get what's your risk? Your risk is that the company for some reason goes bankrupt and you lose $3, 350.
yeah,
What's your potential upside, right? What's your potential reward if they announce a really good partner with a really good upfront payment
yeah,
and they get some expanded use cases and all kinds of other stuff that happens? Where does it go then, right? What I can't ask you that. I could ask you, but you're not going to be able to answer it. I would say, what do you think the fair valuation is for the company? But you can't tell me that.
I don't know. Yeah,
But I'm going to guess that you probably think it's not right here.
it's not where we are now, that's for sure. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Okay, Tim.
what else do you think? Do you think I missed anything here?
No, I think that's again, that's the really the takeaway is we show that the product works. We're meeting with the FDA, going towards submission and approval by the end of next year. Discussions with partners are moving forward. and we'll announce something early next year. Sufficient cash and some pipeline work, earlier stuff, specifically in GLP-1, which that's kind of the flavor of the year, I guess.
Right.
And we have some interesting data that hopefully we'll be able to share towards the end of the year as well.
I mean, when I think about it, I think about cancer patients and you know, what do you call it? The radiation treatments that they have to
Yeah,
go through, right? You can go directly to the tumor, right?
right. Yeah, chemo. We have a product in chemotherapy, local intratumoral injection of chemotherapy. Yeah.
And it's a time release deal, right? Again, you don't get that spike of unpleasantness.
You don't get the spike and you don't get any systemic impact. So you don't get really the side effects that impact the rest of the body. It's really localized in the tumor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I
that's
that's a
that's in
huge,
the pipeline.
right. That's a big deal in my head,
Yeah.
and you've clinically proven that it works, that you can do that.
Yeah, we specifically with chemotherapy, we've shown in a number of animal models, but we already spoke to the FDA about how the clinical design would look like. They recommended that in glioblastoma and brain tumors, this can be first line together with tumor resection. So there's quite a lot of interest there as well.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you. It's coming. I can tell. I know you feel good. You're disappointed, but I know that you see what's coming.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
You're excited, and you should be.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's a good time to be in the company again, with the successful, not many people can see, the a successful product that been worked on for 10 years or so.
Yep.
So a
All
lot of
right.
good. Okay, Tim.
When do we have you back, or when do we have you and Dikla back? I mean, when the I haven't even talked to her since you guys got approval. I mean, it sent her a note, but that was about it, right?
Let's talk around the deal, around the US deal. I think that's a good time to connect.
Okay.
Make
All right.
sense?
Yep. Hold on a second, man. I'm going to shut this off. Okay.
All
Thank you
right.
for tuning in to another executive interview here at Alpha Wolf Capital. Today we had Ori Warshavsky from Polypid, ticker symbol PYPD. I hope you enjoyed today's interview, and if you did, do us a favor. Give us a like. How about giving us a share? And while you're at it, make sure you smash that subscribe button. All of those things are extremely important to us here at Alpha Wolf Capital, and we appreciate you taking the time to do that. Until next time, stay safe. Alpha Wolf Capital wishes you the very best of success.